Have you ever discovered a detail in a theme park and thought, there's gotta be a story behind that? Well, you've come to the right place. We're Amanda, Kevin, and Kim, the team behind We're in the Park, and we've spent years exploring theme parks and finding the details that most people miss. Now, we're diving into the history, stories, and secrets behind those magical details. So grab your curiosity, and maybe even a churro, and let's explore the parks together, one detail at a time. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the We're in the Park podcast. I'm your host, Amanda, and I'm so glad you're here as we continue our Hooray for Hollywood series. We are taking a stroll down Hollywood Boulevard at Universal Studios Florida and uncovering the stories behind each building. In the last 3 episodes of this series, we walked down the entire right side of the street, exploring the facades and learning about their real-life Hollywood inspirations. Today, we are turning around and making our way back towards the front of the park, this time on the left side of the boulevard. We'll start with the first 3 buildings that you'll encounter: Mel's Drive-In, Williams of Hollywood, and the Darkroom. Each location has its own unique ties to California's history, with some fun details that I cannot wait to share with you. To see the photos that accompany this episode, head on over to our blog at we'reinthepark.com/podcast. You can also join the discussion with fellow theme park goers over on our private Facebook group, We're in the Park Explorers. Links to everything are in the show notes below, so just scroll on down and click on whatever calls to you. And while you're scrolling, take a quick second to leave us a 5-star rating on your podcast player. It not only makes our day, but it tells Apple, Spotify, and all the other platforms and listeners that we're doing something awesome here. And if you have 30 seconds to leave us a written review, that would mean the world. I would like to take a quick second and read a recent review from Jen Noble, who said, "So excited this podcast finally launched. The We're in the Park team are easily one of the smartest teams when it comes to all things theme parks. Just listened to episode 2 and I have already learned so much. Can't wait for more." That was a 5-star rating, and thank you so much, Jen. This podcast has been a long time coming, and Jen has been with us since pretty much day 1 of us brainstorming the idea for this podcast. So thank you so much for your kind words, Jen. If you want to be like Jen and leave us a written review, even if it's not 5 stars, we would love to hear from you, and we will read your review in a future episode. Thank you so much for your support. Now let's get back to Hollywood Boulevard. If there's one place on Hollywood Boulevard that feels like it rolled straight out of the golden age of car culture, that's Mel's Drive-In. The first Mel's was opened in San Francisco in 1947 by Mel Weiss and Harold Dobbs. With neon lights, car hops on roller skates, and a menu of burgers, fries, and milkshakes, Mel's quickly became a symbol of West Coast car culture in the 1950s and 60s. By 1972, the chain was sold to the Foster's Family Restaurant Group. A year later, Mel's was catapulted into pop culture history as the filming location for George Lucas's American Graffiti in 1973. But after the film's release, the company faced bankruptcy, and the original Van Ness Avenue location in San Francisco was demolished in 1976. But the story didn't end there. In 1985, Mel's son, Stephen Weiss, partnered with Donald Wagstaff to revive the chain. They opened a new, quote, next generation Mel's on Lombard Street in San Francisco, which led to additional locations throughout California, including a new diner on Van Ness Avenue just steps away from the original site. Today, Mel's is franchised with 9 locations, 8 of which are in California. There's 4 in San Francisco, 2 in Hollywood, and 1 each in Santa Monica and Sherman Oaks. There's also a location out in Nashville, Tennessee, according to the official Mel's Diner website. The first Mel's location at a theme park opened at Universal Studios Hollywood in 1988, followed by Orlando in 1990. Since then, Mel's has become a staple of the Hollywood Boulevard sections at Universal Studios Japan, Singapore, and Beijing. But here's an interesting detail. The Universal versions don't all agree on the name. Some feature the apostrophe, MEL''S, which you'll find in Orlando, Beijing, Singapore, and Japan. Others drop it entirely, like Universal Studios Hollywood, where the restaurant is styled simply as Mel's Diner. This is also why you do not find cars parked out front of the restaurant in Hollywood. It's a diner, not a drive-in like the others. The Mills location outside of the parks are also inconsistent with the apostrophe, where neon signs omit the apostrophe, even though the company's official trademark and website includes it. No matter of the spelling, Mel's at Universal captures that same retro charm as the originals, with checkerboard floors, chrome finishes, neon lights, and jukeboxes galore. In Orlando especially, it anchors the corner of Hollywood Boulevard as a nostalgic throwback to the 1950s and an enduring symbol of California's car culture. Right next to Mel's is the storefront for Williams of Hollywood. The name may sound like it has deep Hollywood roots, but in this case, as far as we could tell, it's more of an in-name only tribute. The Williams here is a nod to Tom Williams, longtime chairman and CEO of Universal Parks and Resorts. Tom began his career in the hospitality industry at Yosemite National Park in California before moving to Orlando, Florida in 1987, where he played a pivotal role in the development and opening of Universal Studios Florida. He became park president in 1990, later rising to chairman and CEO in 1999, before retiring in March 2022. Both Tom and his successor, Mark Woodbury, are honored with stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame along Universal Orlando's Hollywood Boulevard. The exterior of Williams of Hollywood ties directly back to California. At the base of the archway in front of the door, you'll find a plaque that reads, Williams of Hollywood, Robert V. Dura, architect, 1936. The design was inspired by the Crossroads of the World complex on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. Built in 1936 and designed by architect Robert V. Dura, Crossroads of the World has been called one of the first outdoor shopping centers in the country by the Los Angeles Conservancy. There are two plaques within this complex that we wanted to highlight. The first one reads, Crossroads of the World, 1936, Robert V. Dura, architect, a blend of modern and old world architecture, declared Historical Cultural Monument number 134 by the Cultural Heritage Commission, Cultural Affairs Department, City of Los Angeles. There is a smaller, newer plaque above it that reads Windsor Square Hancock Park Historical Society, Crossroads of the World, built 1936. Robert V. Dura, architect, contractor, 2012 Landmark Award number 107. This building's architecture features smooth curved lines and archways on the first floor that lead to squared off angles with rectangular windows above, a style echoed perfectly at Universal. For the Where in the Park team, we live about 40 miles from Crossroads of the World, so in researching this episode, we went to see the complex for ourselves. And let me tell you, seeing the building was a true I know Where in the Park moment. It is nearly identical except for the color. The one at Crossroads of the World is a bright white with blue shutters and accents. The one at Universal Studios Florida is a tan building with more of a teal colored shutters and accents. The tile work along the bottom is also different. Keen-eyed explorers might also recognize the same design at Schmoozies at Disney California Adventure. Crossroads of the World has two other buildings in the complex that are heavily influenced at Disney's Hollywood Studios, so we will come back to this location in a future episode. Okay, so back to Williams of Hollywood. In November of 2015, it was transformed into the prop shop, where guests could actually purchase authentic props from retired attractions, shows, and Halloween horror nights. One day, you might spot a piece from Jaws. Another time, a sign from Twister or a Halloween Horror Night scare zone. The inventory changed constantly, making every visit a unique experience. For fans, it was one of the most authentic ways to connect with Universal's legacy. Sadly, the shop inside Williams of Hollywood closed in June 2022. But the doors didn't stay shut. It now serves as the exit to the tribute store just a few steps away. So even if the props aren't for sale anymore, it still holds fun nods to classic movie references, keeping its Hollywood spirit alive. Next to Williams of Hollywood is the Darkroom. The original Darkroom camera shop opened at 5370 Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles in 1938 and quickly became famous, not just for selling film supplies, but for its unforgettable design. A 9-foot-tall replica of a black Argus camera framing the entrance. The large neon sign above read The Darkroom, cameras, photographic supplies, world-famous photo finishing. This oversized facade made it one of the most photographed storefronts in Hollywood and is considered a prime example of the programmatic architecture, where a building's physical design reflects its purpose. The giant camera isn't just decorative, it's rumored that short films were projected through the lens for passerbys to enjoy. Universal Studios Florida created a replica of this shop, complete with the oversized camera facade, and for years, guests could step inside to take novelty photos against green screen backdrops. It was a clever tribute to the Hollywood original, letting visitors literally put themselves into the picture. Just to the right of the facade at Universal, you'll notice a silver plaque that reads, "The Darkroom, Marcus P. Miller, Architect, 1938. Marcus Philip Miller was born in Illinois in 1892. But moved to Los Angeles in the 1920s. He became head of the Specifications and Contracts Department for Curlett and Beelman Architects before founding his own firm with William Vincent Kernan. The partnership produced several notable projects, including the Montecito Apartments in Hollywood. By 1938, Miller was practicing under his own name, and the Darkroom became the final project noted in his resume. Over the decades, the Hollywood location housed a variety of businesses, including the El Toro Cantina Bar and Grill and the Spare Tire Kitchen and Tavern. Its iconic neon sign eventually entered a private collection before finding a new home at the Museum of Neon Art. Most recently, in 2023, the Vancouver-based company Oni Group, it's ONNI Group, purchased the building and began a historic preservation project to restore the Darkroom to its former glory. Though the actual Darkroom is being refurbished and the Universal's version closed in 2022, the facade still remains, standing as a faithful reminder of one of Hollywood's most iconic storefronts. You'll also find this facade over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, as well as the Disney parks in Paris. So as we begin our walk down the left side of Hollywood Boulevard at Universal Studios Florida, these first three buildings highlight how the park blends real Hollywood history with immersive guest experiences. You have Mel's Drive-In that anchors the corner as a nostalgic diner with deep California roots. Williams of Hollywood connects to both crossroads of the world in Los Angeles and Universal's own legacy through the prop shop. And the Darkroom faithfully recreates one of Hollywood's most iconic camera-themed facades. Together, they remind us that Hollywood at Universal is more than just a themed street. It's a love letter to the golden age of Hollywood itself. In future episodes, we'll continue to make our way down this side of the street, uncovering even more buildings with ties to the real Hollywood in California. Until then, thanks for joining us on this stroll, and remember, there's always more to discover when you know where in the park to look. Until next time, we'll see you somewhere in the park. Bye for now. Thanks for exploring with us today. If you have enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star rating and review, and be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And don't forget to check out the accompanying photos at we'reinthepark.com/podcast. Do you have a park detail that you'd like to learn more about? Please share it with us on our private Facebook group, We're in the Park Explorers. Until next time, we'll see you somewhere in the park.